If you read the real history of us dervishes, you will see that many of us were true rebels. We never bowed down to cruel kings and their rich families. We stood against oppression, no matter from who.
The works written under the title of Adab literature in Islamic literature deal with how a ruler should be. These works draw a portrait of ideal ruler through stories, anecdotes, and advice. Criticism of power has an important function here. Criticism of power is one of the main starting points of adab literature, both in showing the subject's relationship with truth and restraining power.
It is not our custom to bow down to Pharaoh and the polytheists with him. We are loyal to the truth, not to property and money.
In 1430, Mahmud Kadi Manyas, known as Manyasoğlu, presented Murat II with his translation of Gülistan in prose. One of the stories takes place between a sultan, a dervish, and a vizier. According to the story, one day a sultan and his entourage pass by a dervish in a desert who has renounced worldly affairs, but the dervish is not interested. The sultan, disturbed by this situation, complained to his vizier. These dervishes are like animals. They don't know the way. They have no humanity. The vizier immediately told the dervish that he was a dervish. Hearing this, the vizier immediately calls out to the dervish and tells him that the sultan of the earth is passing in front of him and that the dervish has violated etiquette by not serving the sultan. The dervish replies to the vizier,
"Tell your sultan that I am only a slave of God, so he should not expect me to serve him. Reaya are there to be supported, not to serve the sultan."
According to the dervish, even though the sultan had money, wealth, and property, they should protect the poor. The sultan was impressed by the dervish's answer and asked the dervish to request him. The dervish gives him an answer similar to Diogenes' famous answer to Alexander.
"Sultan, I only ask you not to cause any trouble on my way."
The sultan asks the dervish for some advice. The dervish tells him to
"Think quickly and come to your senses. Right now you have possessions, property, and money, but they are temporary. Remember death and support the poor."
The concept that Michel Foucault discusses and defines based on these tragedies and the philosophical texts of the period is called Parrhesia.
Parrhesia is telling the truth. Telling the truth when it requires paying a price. Political discourse is Parrhesia. This is why we were slaughtered by the radicals.
Parrhesia, which means telling the truth, speaking freely, and speaking honestly, is an action that realizes the relationship between the subject and truth in the context of criticizing power. This becomes functional with a significant difference in the Islamic geography. Although the above example is similar to Parrhesia, it is not the same due to the ground difference. In ancient Greece, the property protected the Parrhesiastes to some extent. A slave cannot be a Parrhesiastes. However, in Islamic geography, a propertyless dervish can be a Parrhesiastes. Examples of this can be seen in Eastern literature. What protects Parrhesiastes in Islamic geography is his scientific and philosophical abilities, because it's believed to come from God. In this sense, Parrhesiastes is blessed. In both cultures, Parrhesia is performed by privileged people. In ancient Greece, it is performed in the public sphere and assembly of the rich, while in the Islamic world it's performed by the scholar class, which is protected by religious immunity. Even though scholars or dervishes are poor, their discourse is more potent than the commoners. Parrhesia doesn't mean telling the truth in a general sense, but instead telling the reality truth to power and criticizing it. Parrhesia is a type of verbal activity in which the speaker establishes a particular relation to truth through honesty, a certain relation to his own life through danger, a specific relation to himself or other people through criticism, self-criticism, or criticism of other people, and a specific relation to the moral code through freedom and duty.
We never worshipped the Sultan. We never worshipped the state. We never looked at property or money. No matter what happened to us, we always told the truth. Greetings to all Parrhesiastes